A Country Boy Quits School, written by Lai Shang. A boy in the country gets to be at least half as useful as grown up by the time his age is 8 or 9 years old. He can weed at the spring or tie up harvest bundles in summer. He is able to pass bricks when a house is built or open, and shut the furrows to the irrigation ditches. This being the case, who would want to send him to school? But an official proclamation had been issued in the city to the effect that unless a boy over 6 years of age must send to school, some adult in the family would go to jail. This is why the country boy of our story went to school. On his first day at school, he came back with 8 books. His parents and grandparents all gathered around him and marveled at the pictures in the book.
But look, the people in the pictures are not Chinese. None of them wear kind clothes we do. See the leather shoes? This is the foreign costume.
The grandfather exclaimed.
This woman at the spinning wheel is also a foreigner. She uses her left hand to spin, but we uses the right hand.
The teachers say that the book costs $1 and not 20 cents.
The boy interjected, and his statement stunned everyone like a clap of thunder. Grandmother was the first to speak.
The trick of them. First, we have to send our boy to them and then they make us pay for books. He's hardly gone to school for a day and it has cost us more than $1 already. Who can afford such school?
I should think one book is ought to be enough. To start with, they can get another after they have finished that.
Grandfather said.
Moreover, why should it cost so much when there are only 3 or 4 characters on a page?
Grandmother wanted to know the books they had marveled at a few minutes before had suddenly become a cause for depression. The family discussed the matter at supper, and all through the rest of the evening they finally decided to accept the calamity and pay for the amount required, since it was the first time. To make up the sum, the boy's mother had to contribute the money got from 2 pairs of earrings that she had recently sold, and then his father gave him a solemn lecture.
We are sparing from you from work and sending to you to school even though we cannot afford it. You will be very ungrateful if you don't study hard and learn something.
The boy took his father's words to heart and set out for school. The next day at dawn, when he got there, the porter told him he was too early.
Classes don't start till 9 and it's now only 5:30. The teacher is asleep and the classroom is locked. You had better go home.
There was nothing for the boy to do but to run back home. Grandfather was sweeping the yard when he suddenly caught sight of the boy.
Look at him. It is the only second day and he playing truant already.
The boy was just about to explain when his mother gave him 2 slops and made him tend the fire for breakfast. Needless to say, the price of the books they had to buy had a great deal to do with their temper. When the boy went to school again after breakfast, the teacher was already on the classroom and speaking on the subject of being late to school. In the afternoon, our young hero came back from school just as his father was going back at work after his midday nap. Luckily, his father saw the other boys and the teacher also coming home from school and concluded that his son was not playing truant. The first 6 days of school were taken up with the first lesson in the reader with the text, "This is Mama." The boy diligently read his text over and over again at home after school, but every time he read "This is Mama," his mother heart will jump. On the 6th day of school, she could stand it no longer. She snatched the book from him and cried.
Let me see who is your mama is.
Thinking his mother was equally eager to learn, the boy pointed to the accompanying picture and said,
This is Mama, the lady with leather shoes, bob hair, and long dress.
One look at the picture, and mother burst into loud wails. Everyone gathered round, but she would not answer them. But when they persisted, she said,
Where did the little boy get that vampire like mama?
When they discovered the reason for her distress, father said,
We will ask the boy to ask his teacher whose mama this really is. Maybe it is the teacher's mama.
The next morning, the teacher said to his charges,
One who wants to learn must not to be afraid to ask a question. One who has a question should put it at once to his teacher in his school or to his parent at home.
At this, our hero stood up and asked.
The reader say, this is mama. Whose mom is she really?
The teacher answered patiently.
It is the mama of anyone who happens to read the book, but do you understand now? No.
The boy said. This embarrassed the teacher a little, but he remained patient.
Why you don't understand? Walt is always reading this, but his mama is not like this lady.
The boy said.
Baldy's mother is lame in one arm and has only one eye.
Shaleen said.
And you have no mama at all. She died long time ago.
Said Baldy in self-defense.
Don't talk among yourselves.
Said the teacher hastily.
We are going to do the second lesson. Today, this is Papa. Look everyone, this is Papa, the man with the spectacles and parted hair.
After school, Mother was still worried about who the woman in the picture was. But when she heard her son repeating,
This is Papa,
she did not dare to pursue the question, being afraid that her husband might want to know when she had found a new papa for their son. She could not understand why the book insisted on presenting people with papas and mamas when they had them already. A few days later, the boy learned two new sentences.
the ark stands the fire, the horse eat noodles.
He read the text over thousands of times but could not get over the feeling that there was something wrong about these statements. They had an ox and a horse, but he had never seen the horse eat noodles, and he was sure their ox could not tend the fire. But could the book be wrong? Since he could not answer these questions, he obeyed his teacher's instructions and asked his father about it. Father said,
Once I went to the foreign circus in the city and saw a horse that could ring a bell and fire a gun. Perhaps the book is talking about such as horses and oxen.
Grandmother, however, did not agree with father's explanation. She said,
The ox must be the devil king and the horse must be a demon. Don't you see that they all wear human clothing?
The old lady went on to tell stories about demons that could command the wind and summon the rain. As a result of this, our young scholar dreamed that night of being seized by a winged wolf demon and woke up crying. The following day, he asked the teacher,
Is this ox that contain a fire a foreign ox?
The teacher laughed and said,
You are too literal. The book has only made those things up. It is not true that horses really eat noodles or those oxen can tend the fire.
At one stroke, this explanation cleared up many things in the book that had puzzled the boy. He had read about many things like bread, milk, pork, bull, and the likes, which he had never seen. It dawned on him that the book dealt only with makes-believe things. Of late, grandmother had been feeling that her son was no longer close to her, and that her position in the family was gradually declining. Now, as she listened to the boy reading aloud his latest lessons, she heard him say,
In my family, I have a papa, a mama, a brother, and a sister.
but nothing about grandfather and grandmother. She became very indignant and shouted.
So this house is now all yours and I have no longer have any share in it.
In her rage, she picked up a brick and broke their iron pot into pieces.
Do not be angry.
The boy's father pleaded with her.
We will not let him read this kind of book any longer. I would rather go to jail.
And so the next day, father discharged a day laborer and the teacher marked the boy's absence in the record book.